Hello again Year 2 and anyone else watching this video. We're back with another chapter reading. Now, if you've not seen the last one, make sure you go and watch the last one. That was part 1. We're on part 2 now. We're up to chapter 2. Can you remember what happened in the last one? Have a really good think. Ooh. So we had a look at the hospital, Lord Funt's hospital. It was a very old hospital and should have been taken down a long time ago, they said, but it's still left up. We had an introduction to the characters, so we met all of the characters that we're going to meet in the story. We've not met them all yet. And we were the boy who couldn't remember his name, and he was on a trolley that had a wobbly wheel. And there was the porter. He had a lopsided face, it said, and he slurred his words. And then there was Dr. Lumper. Dr. Lumper, I think it was. Dr. Lumper was... he was doing some forms, wasn't he? And he rolled out the form and he kept going and going and going. It went on forever. Looked like it would have taken him a week at least to fill it in. And then there was the nurse. And the nurse was shouting down the corridor. I think that's where we're up to so far. So let's dive into chapter 2. Let me bring you in close so you have a good look. Get yourself relaxed and listen carefully.
Chapter 2. Here or There. A look of panic swept across the doctor's face. "Oh dear," he said. "There are 192 questions on this form and we are still stuck on question 1. I'm sorry," replied the boy, as he lay on the hospital trolley. A tear rolled down his cheek. He felt like such a failure, not even being able to remember his own name. "Oh no, you're crying," said the doctor. "Please don't cry. The hospital principal could come by and think I've upset you." The boy did his best to stop. Dr. Loopers searched his pockets for a tissue. Unable to locate one, he dabbed the boy's eyes with the form. "Oh no! Now the form's wet!" he exclaimed. He then began to blow on the form, trying to dry it. This made the boy laugh. "Oh good," said the man. "You are smiling. Now look, I'm sure we can find your name. Does it begin with an A?" The boy was pretty sure it didn't. I don't think so." "B?" The boy shook his head. "C?" He shook his head again. "This could take some time," muttered the doctor, under his breath. "Tea!" exclaimed the boy. "You would like a cup of tea?" "No! My name! It begins with a T." Dr. Lupus smiled as he wrote the first letter on the top of the form. "Let's see if I can guess. Tim, Ted, Terry, Tony, Theo, Taj." "No, you don't look like a Taj." I've got it, Tina." All these suggestions firing at the boy clouded his mind, making it more difficult for him to actually remember. But finally, his own name came shining through. "Tom!" said Tom. "Tom!" exclaimed the doctor, as if he was about to have guessed it. He wrote down the next 2 letters. "So what do they call you? Thomas? Tommy? Big Tom? Little Tom? Tom Thumb?" "Tom," replied Tom wearily. Tom had already said his name was Tom. "Do you have a surname?" "It begins with a C," said the boy. "Well, at least we have the first letter. It's like doing a crossword." "Charper! Tom Charper," said the man, scribbling it down on the form. "That's question 1 done. Just 191 more to go. Now, who brought you to the hospital today? Are your mummy and daddy here?" "No," said Tom. He could be sure of that. His parents weren't here. They were never here. They were always there. For some years now, they had packed their only child off to a posh boarding school in the deep countryside, St. Willet's Boarding School for Boys. Tom's father earned a lot of money working in the desert countries far away, extracting oil from the ground, and his mother was very good at spending that money. Tom would only see them on the school holidays, usually in a different country each time. Even though Tom had travelled alone for hours to see them, his father would often still have to work all day. And his mother would leave him with a nanny while she went shopping for more shoes and handbags. The boy would be lavished with presents upon arrival. A new train set, a model plane, or a knight's suit of armour. But with nobody to play with, Tom would get bored quickly. All he really wanted was to spend time with Mum and Dad, but time was the only thing they had never gave him. "No, Mother and Father are abroad," answered Tom. "I'm not sure who brought me to the hospital today. It must have been a teacher."
"Oh," said Dr. Lupus excitedly. "Might it have been your games teacher? There was a man in the waiting area dressed as a cricket umpire with a straw hat and a long white jacket, which I thought was unusual, as we tend not to have cricket matches in the waiting area."
"That must have been my games teacher, Mr. Carsey. Yes." And here we can see, this looks like it's a cricket match, some boys playing cricket with Mr. Carsey as the umpire looking man, and here we've got the grumpy receptionist. It's in the waiting area of the hospital. How funny. Dr. Lupus's eyes flickered down the form. They flashed with panic once again.
"Oh dear, it only says parent, guardian, friend or other on the form. What am I going to do?"
"Tick other," instructed the boy, taking charge.
"Thank you,"
said the doctor, looking relieved.
"Thank you so much. What is the nature of your injury?"
"A bump on the head."
Oh, of course, yes," replied Dr. Lupus, as he scribbled that down on the form. "Now, next question. Would you say the general appearance of Lord Funt Hospital has been lower than your expectations, has met your expectations, has exceeded your expectations, or has greatly exceeded your expectations?"
"What was the first one again?" asked Tom. The pain in his head made it hard for him to think straight.
"Ooh, that has been lower than your expectations."
"What is?"
"The general appearance of the hospital."
"I've only seen the ceiling so far," sighed the boy.
"And how would you rate the general appearance of the ceiling?"
"Fine."
"I'll put down has met your expectations." Next question. Would you say that the care you have received today at the hospital has been poor, fine, good, very good, or in fact, too good?"
It's been all right," replied Tom.
Sorry, but all right isn't on the form."
Good then."
"Not very good," said Dr. Lupus, a hint of pleading in his voice. "It would be nice to say I got a very good on my first week."
Tom sighed.
"Okay. Put too good then." "Oh, thank you," replied the doctor, his eyes dancing with delight. "Oh, no one ever gets too good. Though I worry too good might be a bad thing. Can I put very..."
"Yes, put whatever you like."
"I'll put very good. Thank you very much. This will go down very well with the hospital principal, Sir Quentin Strillers. Now, next question. We're racing through them now. Would you recommend Lord Funt Hospital to family and friends with a heavy heart, half-heartedly, wholeheartedly, or very wholeheartedly?"
Suddenly Nurse Meese busted through the curtains.
There isn't time for the stupid questions, Doctor."
The man put his hand up to his face as though thought he was going to be slapped.
"Don't hurt me!"
"You silly boy."
"As if I would," replied the nurse, before clouting him round the ear hard with her thick heavy hand. "Ow!" screamed Dr. Lupus. "That hurt!"
"Well, at least you're in the right place for an injury."
"Ah!"
The woman laughed to herself and almost managed a smile.
"I I need this station back right now. I have a newsagent being rushed here in an ambulance who managed to staple his own fingers together. Stupid man. Oh no, replied the doctor. I can't stand the sight of blood. Get this boy out of here before I'm back, or I'll clout you round the other ear. With that, Nurse Meese whipped back the curtain, stomped off down the corridor. Okay, began Dr. Lupus. Let me speed this up as much as I can. The man began speaking very fast. Bad swelling, keep you here for a few nights just to be safe, hope you don't mind. Tom didn't mind staying at hospital at all. Anything to miss time at this dreaded boarding school. It was one of the most expensive schools in the country, and so most of the boys who went there were exceedingly posh. Tom's parents were rich because of... Exceedingly posh means they were very, very rich. Because of his father's well-paid job abroad. But the family were not posh at all. Lots of the boys looked down at their aristocrat noses at Tom, which means their very posh noses at him. I'm just going to send you up to the children's ward right away. Nice and peaceful up there. You should get a good night's sleep. A porter! Tom froze in fear as the terrifying man limped back in. Yes, Dr. Lupus, sir, he slurred. What was your name again? Tom, replied Tom. Take Tom up to the children's ward. And that is the end of Chapter 2. Chapter 3, Bump.
Well, I thought that chapter was very funny indeed. I particularly liked the part where the doctor kept reading all those questions and then asking him for the answer. And then told him the answer anyway. Tom seemed like he was getting a bit frustrated. That was very fun. I did like that. And I also quite liked the point where he couldn't remember his name and he kept going through all the alphabet. What's your favourite part? I think the funniest part of all was the cricket match in the reception waiting room. That was very funny because that would never happen in a hospital. I hope you've enjoyed this chapter 2. I look forward to seeing you in the next chapter. Goodbye everyone.